All right, so meanwhile, the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, testifying right now before the Senate committee. And there's the head of that committee, John McCain, who is questioning him as well. We've gotten one ear to that to see if there's a good exchange that we want to bring to you. Some eye-opening comments on the worldwide terror threat, seemingly contradicting what other members of the Obama administration have been saying this week. Here's James Clapper moments ago.
When the final accounting is done, 2014 will have been the most lethal year for global terrorism in the 45 years such data has been compiled. About half of all attacks as well as fatalities in 2014 occurred in just 3 countries, Iraq, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. I'm drawing this data. ISIL conducted more attacks than any other terrorist group in the first 9 months of 2014.
Guess John Kerry did not get that message. Bret Baier joins us now, the anchor of Special Report. Bret, good to have you here. Boy, these are very different messages that we're getting from the administration.
It is starkly different. I mean, there's so much reaction to what Secretary Kerry said yesterday on the Hill, that Americans are under less daily threat than ever before in the last century. I mean, there you see the Director of National Intelligence kind of laying it on the line. I talked with the former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency today, retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, about Kerry's comments. He said Secretary Kerry, quote, is out of touch with reality. He clearly is not listening to the entire U.S. intelligence community. He is not reading any of the intelligence or other things that have been written over the last few weeks, months, years. Talk about being out of touch. Continuing, for him to make those statements is totally irresponsible, and he should be challenged by anyone who cares about the future of this country. That is the former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency of this administration. You know, Martha, today...
Stunning. That is a stunning statement. I mean, it lines up with what he has said in the past, but it goes even further, Bret.
It does, and you hear Clapper there. You know, today is the 22nd anniversary of the bombing of the World Trade Center in 1993 in the North Tower. That truck bomb went off. It didn't have the desired effect of taking down the tower. Terrorists, obviously, 8 years later would accomplish that on 9/11. But 22 years later, everybody we talk to in the intelligence community and around it says the threat matrix now is more dangerous, exponentially more deadly and skilled than 22 years ago today.
Which raises the question, why, Bret? I mean, what is the motivation? Because if indeed, you know, we all saw that that early bombing led to the later bombing, that these people have a lot of patience. They've made it very clear what their motive is and the goals of what they want to carry out. If, God forbid, something horrible happens here, the president and John Kerry are going to have sound bites that they are going to rue they ever said.
I agree. It's really, it makes you scratch your head. I mean, obviously, perspective is key, and they want to make sure people don't get worked up too much, but there is stuff to be worked up over. Listen to the head of the Director of National Intelligence and the head of the former head of the DIA. The president telling Vox.com that he agrees that the media hypes the terrorist threat. If it bleeds, it leads, he said. If something happens, you're right. History will not look kindly at those comments.
And people would just ask over and over, why the need to downplay? Why was it necessary? Why would you want, what's the goal in all of that? Lots to think about with all of this. Bret, thank you very much. Great information from the former DIA. We thank you for that. We'll see you tonight.
Thanks, Martha. All right.
Breaking news here. There's new video said to be showing ISIS terrorists destroying ancient artifacts. Said to be in the Iraq's northern city of Mosul, shown right here. Connor Powell's live at our Middle East Bureau. And Connor, what can you tell us about what we're seeing?
Yeah, Bill, ISIS continues its sort of march and